All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year if we have not greeted this year. I welcome you to the first edition of the Tips and Tricks for 2024. So welcome from wherever you are joining. My name is
Good afternoon, Prof.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. From wherever you're joining, welcome. This is the ASFI Tips and Tricks. Okay, my name is Bright Wang, and I'll be handling the show this afternoon. All right, so we have 1 hour and we need to get started. Just to mention that these sessions are recorded, so please mute yourself when you join. Of course, now I think it's best. Let me do that. Let me mute everyone. Okay, so I've muted everyone. If you want to speak when it's time to speak, just use the raise hand button and I will unmute you to speak. Welcome again, everyone. I will share my screen and we'll get. All right. So the title of our presentation for today is who is a scientist? Who is a scientist? Let me make a correction here. Who is a scientist? That is what we will be looking at today. Who is a scientist? And just to mention that the tips and tricks, this is the 22nd edition, which means that it has been running for almost 2 years now. So if you have not been following us, I encourage you to go to the ASFI YouTube channel. We have covered quite a wide range of topics, which I believe would be of interest to you. My colleagues are there with you, and they will be sharing the links as we go through. So if you have not been joining us, go to our YouTube channel to see what we have covered previously. All right, the year 2024 for ASFI and for the tips and tricks promises to be a very exciting one. We are looking forward to what we can achieve this year. So for the tips and tricks, we have themed it scientist success virtues. Scientist success virtues. Many times we have a misconception what it means to become successful. And because of that, the ingredients we apply in the process of being successful with our career, with what we do as scientists, the ingredients are misplaced. Okay? So, yeah, and that is why there is so much imbalance in the way you may start at the same level, and after some time, you're overtaken, you are left behind. Some people get discouraged, they resign, they don't like what they're doing. But you see, to be successful is not only to go to the office. There are things, there are virtues that you need to accumulate and they fuel your journey. So this year, we think that going through this with you will give us an extra motivation. So I encourage you, don't fail any of the sessions. I think it will be very enriching for all of us. So these are the sessions, the titles for the sessions through the year. And we're starting today. Who is a scientist? Who is a scientist? Many people don't know whether they are scientists or they are not. I hope that after this 1 hour we have, it will be clear where we are. Are we? Are we not? Should we be calling ourselves scientists, or somebody calls you scientists? Should we accept that? How do you view yourself? It's good to start from this foundational level. All right, and then the topics continue until December. The research tips and tricks run every last Friday of the month, and it's just 1 hour. 1 hour, and we are done. It's recorded, and then if you want the slides, we will at the end. I will ask you to put your email. Don't do it now, so that we can collect and send the slide. If you are on our WhatsApp platforms, whether membership or course platforms, our general information platform, you don't need to put your email because you will get it there. All right. Yeah, I see some of you already typing your names, introducing yourselves. So please feel free to do that. But I have a question. I have a question for you. I want you to type on the chat box. And the question is, are you a scientist? Just type yes or no. Yes or no. Just type yes or no. Are you a scientist? Are you a scientist? And then, of course, you can include there what makes you a scientist. If you're a scientist, what makes you a scientist? How do you know that you are a scientist? I see only a few people writing there. I see only a few people writing there. Are you a scientist? Yeah, some people are quantifying it. I'm glad this MSc student. All right. Please, yes, keep writing, keep writing. I want to see more. I want to see more. There are many people done. I can wait. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Okay. Well, before we can define who a scientist is and who is not, I think it is good to define what science is. And generally, science and as well as most fields in science can be defined by its approach. And then there is another method of defining it. I will come to that. So the first one here is by its approach. By its approach. The Science Council defines science as the pursuit and application of knowledge and understanding of the natural and social world, following a systematic methodology based on evidence. Is there anyone here who does not do what is stated here? this definition. If you don't do it, if this is not what you do, just write yes. Is there anyone who does not do what is stated in front of your screen? Just write yes if it is not what you do. If you don't know, you can also write I don't know. All right. So I see that everybody here does that. So this is by its approach. The second one is really one okay. Some people are writing yes. So it means you don't do this. I hope you got my question right. Okay. Another approach to define it is by its impact and outcomes. And this is really one that I love so much. And this is defined by UNESCO. And they define science as the greatest collective endeavor. Through it, we find ways to live longer and healthier. It provides medicine for our diseases. It provides water to quench our thirst. It helps us to grow our foods. It provides energy for our consumption. It makes life more fun. It generates solutions for everyday life. Science must respond to societal needs and global challenges. Okay, so let me ask again, is there anyone here whose scientific endeavors do not target any of this? Just write yes. Is there anyone here whose scientific contributions or endeavors do not target any of this? If you don't know, right, I don't know. Okay, somebody says yes. I see Shaima. Shaima, do you, okay, someone says, I don't know. Shaima, I would like to hear your voice. Do you mind raising your hand? Let me see you and tell me why you think so. Do you mind raising your hand so that I can identify you and I'll meet you? Do you mind? Okay, Sharma doesn't want that. Where is Shaima? Let me see if I can see Shaima here. Then I can unmute. Okay, Shaima, you can unmute yourself. Just quickly tell us why you think you say yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said yes because I am basically a researcher because I am a pathologist. We identify diseases. We try to make research about diseases and pathological basis, and I communicate it. I usually try sometimes to make it related to the community we are in here. I am from Egypt.
But why do you think that what you do does not address these things in front on the screen?
I can't get it again, please. I can't get it.
I mean, why do you answered yes? I said my question was, if what you do does not address any of the things I have put on the screen, then say yes.
Yes, because it is basically, sometimes the research is not yeah, directly related to what you said. Basic science sometimes is not that much relation to what you provided in the slide.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay.
much, Shaima. And you see, what Shaima has said is a perspective many people have. Okay. But I want to really, before I move on, I want to say some things because there is lots of misconception in that. If you see here, they started by saying science is the greatest collective endeavor. All right. There is the outcome of science. As outcome we achieve. All right. Having a happy society, having a secure society. But before the outcome is reached, we have a spectrum of activities. All right. Activities like Shaima is saying, she's a basic researcher. And then you have those who are working in the industry who can take some of the developments she has made and then translate them to become something tangible we can touch. But that does not mean that Shaima herself is not addressing the same thing those in the industry are doing, because it's a collective endeavor. I don't know if you're getting my point. I don't know if you're getting the point I'm making here. Are you getting the point I'm making here? Because it's a collective endeavor, we are stationed in different points in that spectrum. There is a race people run. I don't know. I'm not very athletic, but there is a race people run. And it's not a one-man show. They have this exchange of baton. All right? This person runs and gives it to the other person, and the person takes until they get to a point, the last person who would win it. That is what science actually, when it says a collective endeavor, does. So when the last person wins, it is the win of everyone. It's the win of everyone. All right? We are all contributors in that trajectory. Yes. You mean that even if it's a basic research, it can actually accumulate. That is a point I'm making. That is a point I'm making, that you are working in that lab. You are not communicating with people in the public. No, that is not what makes you, whether you're contributing to the things I've said on this screen or not. What happens that you are taking what you have done, and somebody is taking the baton from you, another person is taking from that person until it gets to the final destination. So we are all contributing to this endeavor. I hope that is clear enough, so that next time when somebody asks you, is your research contributing to any of those things on the screen, you will be bold and proud to say yes. How? Because it's a collective endeavor. All right. All right. Who is a scientist then? I want to send you out. In your breakout sessions to go and discuss. I'm giving you 20 minutes. When you discuss, I'll put you into 4 groups. When you discuss, answer these questions. You can take picture of what is on the screen, and appoint one person who will come to use 1 minute to summarize what you have discussed in your group. So please take a picture of that. Somebody is annotating my screen. All right, I'll share it again. So let me send you, I will automatically send you to the breakout sessions, discuss and come back after 20 minutes. I'll bring you back. Appoint one person from your group who will come to address these questions. All right? All right, I opened the room, so please join your room, and in 20 minutes, I will bring you back. Bring back. Who is a scientist? All right, I think we're all back. Welcome, everyone. So if you have been appointed by your group, just raise the hand up so that I can recognize you. Who is presenting for group number 1? Group number 1, who is presenting for you? And please use within 1 minute to say that. Who is presenting for group number 1? Please raise your hand. All right, I don't see anyone. Group number 2, who is presenting for you? All right, is that N1M Bright? N1M Bright, your group number 2, or?
Yeah. Should I go
Please
on?
go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay, we interacted within us and we came up with within before 20 minutes. So to answer the questions, right?
Yes, please tell us what you have discussed.
So the first question goes: how do you recognize or identify a scientist? I think number 1, attitude. A scientist have a particular pattern or principle he lives with. Secondly, a curiosity to know. A scientist is always curious to know. And thirdly, a scientist is persistent till he gets results. And a scientist is a problem solver. And a scientist is practical. So I'm going to the second question. And the second question says, what factors and indicators can one use to identify a scientist? 1, I think, is a research output. A scientist is a researcher. 2 is contribution to knowledge. And I think the third one is a scientist identified by his disciplinary? I think yes. Without discipline, you might not find a scientist, but he must not be limited to his discipline. I think this is the sum discussed.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. Group number 3, I see Dennis Eger. Are you presenting for group number 3? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm presenting for group number 3. The answer to number 1 is, we know the scientist by his quest for truth and the use of that truth for the improvement of the society. Number 2 is follow the norms of science in all matters. And we also know him by his methodological approach to all endeavors. And then the indicators, we have ethical discipline, transparency. He's also committed, he's honest, and he's known for his integrity and very rich imagination. And he's also extremely curious and open-minded, but also a cautious skeptic. And but this blind leaning, no. Our answer to that question is no. For all scientists belong to the same scientific community, though many, but one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Who is present for group number 4? Group number 4, can I see your hand? Okay, Emmanuel Ugobo, I guess you are the one.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So in terms of the first question, how do we recognize and identify a scientist? From our group, we agree that first is someone who loves knowledge, a lover of knowledge. He identify a gap and look for a systematic way to be able to fill that gap. And then the other one is that someone who loves new things, someone who is curious, who works to address societal problem, and that will contribute to the growth and development of the society. We also look at it as someone based on his ability to contribute to the scientific endeavor in terms of publications. These are some of the areas for us to recognize and identify scientists. And then in terms of what factors are indicators for us to use and identify scientists, one of it is in terms of the number of publications, his ability to someone's ability to discover and add to the value of knowledge, his contribution to humanity, and then his specialized knowledge. Those are some of the factors and indicators. And then the last one, which this one took us a little bit long time for us to deliberate. Some agreed that the first one is a scientist identified by disciplinary learning. Yes and no. Yes, in terms of all scientists, scientists follows a defined systematic approach in terms of solving problem, identifying problem in the society. But at the same time, every scientist belongs to a particular field and which he or she contributes to, and therefore you can also agree that they belong to a particular disciplinary of learning. Thank you, and over.
All right, thanks very much. Thanks very much. It looks like my last question was not very clear to everyone. So it's not learning, it's learning. It's learning. And I want to ask, you can put your comment on the box. I want to ask some questions. Is a chemist a scientist? If it's yes, just right there. Is a chemist a scientist? Right on the chat box there. A chemist. You know who a chemist is? Is a chemist a scientist? I'm not seeing. Okay, I see only one yes. Some say no. Okay. All right. The next question I have is a theologian a scientist? Is a theologian a scientist? No. Some say no. All right. Is a philosopher a scientist? A philosopher. Okay, I see no. All right. Okay. I would like to hear two people speak. Those who said a theologian is not a scientist. Let me see who can raise his hand. Who wants to speak? Why do you think so? A theologian is not a scientist. If you want to speak, just raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any hand. Is an economist a scientist? An economist. Yes, okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So I still see there is unclarity. There's unclarity. And I hope that as we live here today, we'll be able to have some clarity. Okay, the Science Council again defines who is a scientist. It says someone who systematically gathers and uses research and evidence to make hypotheses and test them. To gain and share understanding and knowledge. Now, let me ask now, is a philosopher part of this? Yes or no? Is a philosopher part of this? Okay. Is a theologian part of this? Okay. Theologian is not part of this. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, let me take you back. Let me just take you back. Let me take you back to this. Is a theologian part of this? Is what some of the things listed here, is it part of what the theologian does? Just write yes or no. Just write yes or no. What is written on the screen there, is it part of what a theologian does? Okay. I see the yes is winning. Come on, yes. Come on, yes. Come on, yes. What? No. Is there more no's? Okay. I see the yes is winning. All right. All right. Let me continue. So this is what the Science Councils define. Now, let me surprise you. Just read carefully what is on the screen. Just read carefully what is on the screen. The word scientist, as we know it today, in fact, scientists before the 19th centuries were not called scientists. Everybody was doing different things. You see, Aristotle and all those people, Galileo, all of them were, in fact, most of them were theologians. And the word scientist was actually carved out by a theologian, William Whewell. He was the one who brought that name, scientist. All right? Okay. So let me ask again, is a theologian a scientist? Okay. I can see some people still strongly saying no. All right. I see two hands who have said no. I have Yusuf. Yusuf, your hand is raised. Let me unmute you to tell us quickly. Tell us. Unmute yourself there and tell us what you think. Why you are adamant.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Why I'm adamant that a theologian is not a scientist. As a sociologist, we were made to understand that before even the advent of sociology, all this divinity, that is people who you refer to as theologians now, the knowledge they provide is from divine. And they didn't engage in this kind of rigorous step-by-step procedure adopted by science in answering the problem of the society. They listened to the gods, people like priests and the rest of those. But later, sociology that carries systematic procedure in carrying out research to understand human society now came to be able to push aside this kind of divine explanation. So that's my position.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, then I have Mujib. Mujib, please unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Professor and my other colleagues. Science need facts, they need proof. But when you are talking of theology, we talk of faith, we talk of belief. Most things you cannot prove it. If you say there is God, prove it to me, you cannot prove. So science demands that there is a proof, particularly with our senses. But theology demands that we just believe without raising question, we just believe, we don't raise question. So that's the difference. So theologians are not scientists. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That Well, I don't want to stretch this argument, okay? Because you see, as a scientist, for me, there are many things in science that I have to have greater faith than I will have with my own religion. Greater faith to believe that they are true. Well, I don't know who has been there. There are many things in science that I just have to believe and have faith. All right, we are still in the same boat, but is it only prayer theologians do? Do theologians contribute to the well-being of the society? The theologians contribute to the well-being of the society. Okay. Is it only prayer they do? I've seen many theologians who are helping out so much in societal affairs, making the society happy. All right. So the point, and you can see that the one who proposed this was actually a theologian. He believed in faith, and then he also did other things to make the society. And that's why I gave you two definitions: the approach and the impact and the outcome. Regardless of what you do as a scientist, if the overall target is not to make the society a better place, then you have failed. In fact, what you're doing is not science. What you're doing is not science. Science has a target. The target is to use the knowledge we generate in this natural world we find ourselves to make our society a better place, to make a contribution in our society. Someone who uses the process of science to find answers about how and why things work in the world and in the observable universe. Science is not just fact. Science is the way we analyze the facts. All right? In essence, of all disciplines we undertake as human beings, whether within the scope of the university or outside the university, if there is an ambition to understand our world and to use the knowledge we generate in understanding our world to solve our problems, whether it is immediate or long-term problems, it falls within the spectrum of science. Yes. And the point I'm trying to make today, because we are taking a journey this year, some of you, perhaps because of your disciplinary leaning, where you're working, you might have excluded yourself from that umbrella of collective endeavor. You might have excluded yourself, or based on our preconceived bias, we might have excluded some of us from being called scientists. And that is a bias. We are all in this game. And I want to give you the assurance that you are part of the process. And it should be part of what you are taking through this year. I remember, sorry, the time is up, but I will just take a few minutes. Some years ago, when we were doing a course in ASFI, and people were paired from different disciplines, and some people came to me and said, well, I am from this discipline, these people are from that discipline, how do we? I said, well, no, we don't speak that language in ASFI. What is your ultimate goal? What do you want to achieve? As a researcher, what do you want to achieve? What you want to achieve is something I want to achieve. It's something the other person wants to achieve. And so can we have a common base? Can we have commonality? Can we minimize the differences that, well, I have this approach, I have that approach, but there is also a part of science that is not based on the approach, but our end goal. If we focus on our end goal, can we find a common ground? And that is yes. That is yes. All right, so just to tell you, the verdict is we are all scientists. Scientists we are. That is my verdict today. We can continue the argument. We can create a platform to continue the argument. But you see, when you define, for instance, some field like a theologian, the theologian, whether imam or a theologian in other religions, they will come to defend themselves to say, no, you have misunderstood us. That's not all we do. We have a role to play. Yes, we have a role to play. So if our pursuit is to understand the world, if we strive to make our world a happy place, a healthier place, a better place, then all the jargons we use become unimportant. We are all scientists. We are. All right. So how do you feel about being a scientist? How do you feel about your job? You can type there. Are you a happy scientist? Are you a happy scientist? Because some people think that the work we do is not worth it. Look at what people have written here. Science is not a whirlwind dance of excitement illuminated by the brilliant strobe light of insight. It is a long, plodding journey through a dim maze of dead ends. It is painstaking data collection followed by repetitious calculation. It is revision, confusion, frustration, bureaucracy, and bad coffee. In a word, science can be boring. Is that how you feel? Is that how you feel? I want to know, is that how you feel? Is that how you feel being a scientist? Do you enjoy what you do? If there's nothing to make you happy, the fact that you are part of the group across the world that is looking for opportunities to make our world a better place should be an encouragement. I want to show you some, will I call it myth? And you can tell me which one you agree with. Do you agree with this? Scientists are weird. Do you agree with this? Good. You can't make much money being a scientist. Do you agree with that? Okay. You have to spend years in school before you become a scientist. I'll be old by the time I actually get done with all the degrees I studied. Is that your experience? I'm a people person, but computer workers and all scientists have no human interaction. They stare at their computer screens or work in a laboratory alone all day and never get to talk to anyone. It's boring. Do you agree with this? I like to work on creative, fun projects. There's nothing creative about science, math, or computer. You see, what I'm showing you are real impressions people have. And actually, I have met scientists who have embedded themselves in this and have decided to quit. All right, have decided to quit. And I'm happy that most of you are saying you don't agree with these things. I want to work in a field where I can help people. Science wouldn't let me do this. Is that true? Nope. 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 You see, the point is this. Many of us have not, you see, what I was discussing with Sharman before, that even if you are in the lab, it is a collective effort. And you need to be happy that what you're doing has a translational effect and reaching people in the society, because that is what we do. So some of these misconceptions have come perhaps based on how we have defined what we do or how we have projected ourselves. And that is what we want to change this year in our tips and tricks. What virtues do we carry as a people? And I'm happy with that. I won't have time to have a family being a scientist. All right. This is where I will stop for today. But just to let you know that we're in a journey, and I think we have established something this afternoon. Who is a scientist? You are. I am. And if you are, then you need to find the tools that you can use to make your work better in 2024 and in going forward. That is what the tips and tricks for this year all about. The next one, which is the 23rd edition, will come on the 23rd of February, and that is what scientists do, what we do, what virtues should accompany what we do. Or what we do, does it require specific virtues? 23rd of February, please join us to do that. On Sunday, we'll continue with our seminar series. This is the first edition for this year. This year, the seminar series will be focusing on innovation and research. Many of us do not know how to generate ideas that will be innovative to carry in our scientific endeavors. This year, we're dedicating the whole of the seminars this year to look at this. On Sunday, it will be innovation and research. What is it? What is it? Please, if you have not registered, the links have been sent, and I think my colleagues have put it on the chat box. Please register and join us on Sunday. Our courses are still ongoing. Application is still ongoing. If you have not attended semantic review and meta-analysis course before now, I think it's going to change the dimension of how you do your research. So please don't let this opportunity pass you. And then the research, quality, productivity, and impact applications still ongoing. Have you registered as a member of SFI? If not, there's still room for you. There's still room for you. Take advantage of the offers we have. And then the ISFI Scholar. Please, if you have not signed up, this is a platform. You need to sign up. And sooner or later, we'll come to showcase to you the things you can do with this platform. But first, we want you to sign up so we can get going. All right. Thank you very much this afternoon, colleagues, for coming. And I wish you a wonderful weekend, and see you on Sunday. And those we see tomorrow, see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.